Why are you threatening our child? We're going to get canceled. They can't even see him in camera.
Our child is threatening me.
Our child, to be clear, is a cat that likes biting us for no reason. We don't do it. We love him and spoil him. But he does get sprayed with water if he bites us. After, and not even the first time. This is after, like, he follows me around and keeps biting my toes for no reason.
Nobody is signing on for this. This is the only thing people are signing on for is our cats.
I mean...
Marital strife.
And what strife?
Marital strife. Stop scratching me. This is a bad boy.
He is a asshole. He was so cute. Like, he keeps nuzzling my face. Like, I'll come home and pet him, and then he jumps up on my knee and like nuzzles my face intentionally. That's all he wants. He knows how to manipulate me, is what I'm saying. They own us. We're demonetized. I'm furious. Well,
that was soda. That was soda. Let's go.
It's too late. I'm gonna get some demonetization truth. We're getting demonetized. Anyway, what are we talking about?
Fleishman. Fleishman.
This is making the cut. I don't even care. I have to edit this tonight, so this is gonna be rough. I mean, we started with the explicit podcast episode on housing for civilians, so this is just the natural progression.
Are we beginning?
We've begun.
Okay.
I'm not joking. Since we started recording, most of that's going into this video.
Okay. Today we're talking about welcome to RNC Watch TV.
What's up, guys? It's been a bit. They've been on vacation, and then, well, before that...
We did miss 1 week. Did we miss 2 weeks?
We've missed 2 weeks because, well, we were, like, crammed with, like H&L and HFH stuff, and then we went on vacation, and we literally... There was only... I think it's a mix-up. We needed a break. I don't know. I'm talking about stupid shit.
Okay, anyway, I don't remember us missing us 2 weeks, but I believe you.
Do you want to reset? Let's reset.
No.
Okay. Blame me. We went on vacation and we only had time to edit one thing.
Okay, so we're back. However long we were gone between 1 and 2 weeks, we think, and we're back, and RNC Watch TV. So I'd heard about Fleishman Is in Trouble. It's a show on Hulu. There's one season. It was in 2022. I'm pretty sure it's just a one season thing. It's based on a novel, I want to say. And I'd heard about it, and I noticed it had a lot of really big stars. And anytime something has a lot of big stars, especially like a show that has a lot of movie stars, they're like, this is probably almost equal. This is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, why would so many movie stars sign on to it?
Oh, yeah. And it has a decent bit.
Yeah. I mean, it has Claire Danes, which I haven't seen her in TV since, well, there's that awful show where she's like part of the security state, which I didn't watch. But obviously I got into her based on the tattoo, which is My So-Called Life typewriter font. My So-Called Life. And then, Romeo and Juliet and lots of movies. Anyway, so there's her, and there's a bunch of big stars in it. Who's the guy who stars?
It's funny that neither of us can remember his name.
I know. He was in Zombieland.
I know him from Social Network.
Social Network.
Mainly because, and it's not even because of Social Network. I just really like the cinematic, like Fincher cinematic style.
I do love Fincher.
It's like, it's basically if you turned color graded, or if there was a direct translation of color grading to 9 Inch Nails, it would be, which now 9 Inch Nails ironically makes all the soundtrack for Fincher movies. But yeah, there's just something about it that works. Eisenberg? No.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg, yeah, that's it.
And then Lizzie Kaplan.
I am ashamed to say that I do not directly know any of the other actor or actresses' names, but I recognize a lot of people from a lot of other places. I just can't put names to it. I was just shocked to see him. I was like, he looks a lot like the dude from... Oh, shit, it is him.
And the hot guy from a show I never watched.
That's not doing...
Adrian no.
If you're asking me for...
The hot guy. There's 3 friends. It's Liz.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I've seen him in other things too, and I can't place where I've seen him. Anyway.
There are other stars. Anyway, so...
And it's like they're really good pairings too. Like they play really well with each other. The characters that they're embodying.
I feel like Lizzie's husband is...
I love that dude.
He's so good in it. But is he How I Met Your Mother? Anyway, we should have done this research before we recorded, but we didn't, so look it up. Anyway.
It's been a busy week. It's what time is it here for us? It's 11:20 p.m., so we're recording this pretty late. So
anywho, it's amazing. So the reason I watched it is because we listened to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend as we're trying to sleep. That they're like,
sometimes it works out really well, sometimes it doesn't. And that it's so well, but even like sometimes it works out, it doesn't work out, but in a good way where it's just hilarious. And like we lay in bed laughing for like an hour. One time there was Tig Notaro, and before like anyone jumps on me, I fucking love Tig Notaro. Like she was in Star Trek Discovery, my favorite character in that entire like show. But she kept making clown, like the noise that you would expect when a clown honks its nose. She kept making it over and over again, and you were fortunate and fell asleep. I had to lay there for like an hour hearing that because it just kept coming up. And again, fucking love Tig Notaro, but that was a lot. Anyway, this is why we didn't record these in the morning normally.
So he knows that so it's my phone that we play the podcast on, and he knows that I'm asleep when I don't. Either like through my watch or phone, like fast forward through the commercials. I never heard the Tig Notaro thing. I was asleep.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Anyway, so Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend is our sleeping podcast. I don't know what we're gonna do when we run out of the back catalog of those episodes. I guess find another.
No, we need to listen to the Harrison Ford. Honestly, the Harrison Ford episode is like my favorite podcast episode ever.
I thought it was Leslie Jones.
Okay, actually, no. She took the cake last night. Her talking, she's so fucking like.
It was really
Claire.
funny.
It was good.
I also loved. I don't even remember who the guest was, but when who's the guy and who's the assistant. And he had surgery, and he was like on meds.
I forgot about that. He was like muscle relaxers or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he was. I forgot about that. Yeah, I have no idea who the guest was. Just and like a lot of times, even if it's not that good, like the opening, his interactions with like his like employees, like are hilarious by themselves. And in that case. That was like, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so
we're getting sidetracked.
Conan O'Brien had like 2 or 3 guests on. Like I want to say he had Jesse Eisenberg and Lizzie Kaplan on.
They were touring, I guess, for the show, probably.
I'm sure. Yeah. Anyway, and so I was like, oh yeah, that show. I need to check that out. And it's one of those where it's like, well, with that many movie stars, I thought it would be on like Showtime or some shit I didn't have a subscription to.
Yeah.
But it was on Hulu. So we were just like, okay, so we've been watching Girls and we've been watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds. But I was like, you know what? I'm not in the mood for either of those. Let's try this new show. So
God, I'm glad that you did.
Listen. It's incredible. Fleishman is in Trouble is incredible. It's incredible. I realize how I'm going to sound saying this, but it is everything fiction can and should be. Okay. I am not a big fiction fan. The only time I really do fiction is TV. I don't read fiction. I don't really like movies. Like, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and the audiobooks are nonfiction, and the books I read are nonfiction, and the articles I read, I don't read fiction. I don't watch fiction except television. And watching Fleishman Is in Trouble clarifies what I like about fiction. Fleishman Is in Trouble is realistic, right? It's very true to life. But to me, it's like, what is the benefit of fiction, right? Reality is stranger than fiction. It's often more interesting than fiction. You learn things. Like, fiction often is just like, oh, it's a trope. It takes you out of it because it's not realistic. I'm not a big fan of it in and of itself. But the things fiction can do is it can take what's true to life, but make it better, right? And that's what Fleishman does. It's these conversations that you've definitely had, but more concise and more interesting than they are in real life. In real life, they're more meandering. Like, it gets to the heart of it. And it picks... It's not that it's unrealistic. It's just stories are fake, right? Like, in reality, everything that happens just happens, and one thing is no more connected to the other thing than any other thing. We just decide things are related to each other because they create a story that serves some purpose. But that's what this does, is it picks out those things that are related to each other in such a way as to serve some purpose that is so interesting but not overdone.
Yeah, no, like it feels very realistic, but yes, just ever so slightly embellished, and I think that's what a lot of why it works is that, like,
it's true to life, but just a little hyperbolic.
Just cute enough, like just enough of a stranger, like you said, stranger than fiction vibe to really make it work really well.
The other thing I like about it is that it takes place in a world that is believable, but outside of my direct experience, but in a direction that I like to think about. So it's like, when I think about my problems, right? Then there's like problems that are kind of more depressing than mine. And then there are problems that are less depressing. I don't know if depressing, like higher class, right? Like, I'm never going to have kids. But if I did have kids, I would never have them it's unlikely I would have them in Manhattan. And if I had them in Manhattan, it's unlikely that I would like be married to a doctor, and I would be making even more money than a doctor, and we would have to choose the most like exclusive prep school for our children to go to, right? These are not my problems. These are a higher class of problems than the problems I have any experience with or am likely to have any experience with. And so there's this like fun aspect of experiencing this class of problems that's just a little higher class than the class of problems I encounter. You know what I mean?
I do. I think they could be your problems if you wanted them to be your problems,
maybe.
But like,
they're not.
No, But no, it is interesting living vicariously through the character because they're so realistically written that it's like you actually can place yourself in their shoes to a degree. Like, it doesn't seem out of bounds.
Aspect to a class.
Would you say pornographic or voyeuristic?
Both.
Man,
So
okay.
I don't know. I think about like, what's the movie where it was like Mariah Carey and
I am not the person that asked this question.
Sapphire, I think, was the writer and director. It was like Precious or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and it was like this very overweight black teenager who like...
Precious sounds right.
Yeah.
I did not, like most movies, and pop culture references, I missed it somehow, but I do know what you're talking about.
It was really good.
It looked like it was a wholesome.
It was really good. But it's just like there's something, voyeuristic about a look into someone's life and their problems that are of a totally different character than the problems that you encounter on a or you expect to encounter.
I imagine almost it would be kind of an escape to see their issues versus.
Yeah, it's very escapist. So yeah, Fleishman. What else do I like about it? It's just super well acted.
I do.
The writing. Oh my god, the writing. It's just so good.
I do get some hints of, at least from the writing side, sex positivity. Like you had the person that technically was the conservative anchor's wife talking about experiences that line up with basically anyone that's been programmed by evangelical Christianity that's deprogrammed, at least on the sexual front. There's hints of that. Or I picked up on that.
The anchor's who?
The woman that he's had, like, that he keeps visiting in the apartment and having sex with it. Yeah. Like, things that she said, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I get hints there, but I don't think that's an overarching theme. It was just kind of a refreshing thing to see.
What I like about it is, so one thing that's important for fiction, apparently, from what I've read, is you need high stakes. And so when it comes to like a Marvel movie, it's like the whole world's gonna die.
God.
Dude face doesn't flipper the doodle.
On Disney Plus.
Yeah. But this writing, I want to know. Okay, so there are like two things. Like one is what the fuck is going on with Rachel, Fleischman's ex-wife.
Kind of briefly interject with my theory. I think.
Okay, we are at episode.
It's important to know where we're at. We have not finished
Spoilers
it.
coming.
But also not too many because we clearly don't. If they've answered it, we clearly don't know how it was answered. But I think Fleischman killed her and imagine the people telling him that like they saw her in the park, and he's just like imagining that because he killed her and hid her body in the park or something. That's dark.
Napping in the park, but we don't know much else.
But it was like the interaction was weird. So and maybe like he didn't kill her, but like there was something weird about the specific interaction with the three friends that said that they conveniently showed up out of nowhere, all three of them at the same time, and said, "We saw her sleeping in the park," and answering like a question that like it seems like there's something more to that, like because a lot of it keeps showing things that are being manufactured by his mind. And, like, it's not extensive, so you think most of what you're saying is actually true. But that seems like that was, like, a misdirection where that was, like, one of the things that he was actually imagining that wasn't truth. Most of them were obvious, like, just the random... Yeah, I can't remember specifics, but, like, people saying, like, him randomly seeing, like, even when he was in his wife's apartment, seeing the one dude that he thought his wife was having an affair with or his ex-wife, like, him and her fucking at the table. But I feel like it was yeah, there was almost like an aspect of that interaction with the three friends that seemed off, and that makes me think that there's something darker at play. But I don't know if there's any truth to that. I may be wrong, and if you've seen the whole thing, well, don't comment for like a week and then comment, because I don't want you to ruin it. But oh well, now that I've said that, I'm sure someone's going to tell us how it ends. I heart you all.
The other thing I really want to know about is like the narrator, Lizzie, like she's clearly super bored in her world.
Are they together at the end of this?
I hope not. It would be so boring. No, like what
it would be, but it'd also be kind of cute.
What is her deal? Like, what is her life? Like, what is her internal situation? Like, I'm so on the edge of my seat. Like, the stakes are so high. Like, I just really want to know. And that's so